And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OC as we've returned with the second semifinals of the night of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle number 24. We have our first finals. We have our Terran in the grand finals in Ryung, but now we are here to crown our second finalist. Will it be another Terran or a Protoss? We are here to find out. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the blue Terran player from the land of the Netherlands. It is, so some know him as Salsa Tequila, but it is uThermal. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. Oh, that is not... God damn it. Hold on. Just fixing up the logos once again. But we are good to go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Get your gambling going. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you believe will take the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. Ooh, as... Again, predictions are underway for the next minute or so, as I do try to set up our player names. Un momento. We'll attempt to set them up. Bam. Good to go. We have our TvP, and again, I'm shocked. I'm surprised to see uThermal doing so well here, just because, one, it's his first time competing in our tournament, definitely, but we rarely get to see him here in these open cups. Did decide to show up, did decide to sign up. This is his debut here in the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, so it is the case with Ryung as well. It is their first time competing in this tournament, and this is a pretty good time zone for him as well. Again, for those who do not know, uThermal, he is not in Europe, he is not in the Netherlands, he is currently in Latino America. He's in Mexico, papi. He's one of us. Let's go. I mean, you know, clearly, he's adopted the best things, but he's covered in salsa and tequila all over it. Let's go. Ay, ay, ay. But regardless, again, he's in Mexico, so again, not the worst time for him. It is getting in towards the afternoon or evening in the land of Latin America, but still a good time to be awake, good time to game. As a probe does go down. So far, so good. It is a double gas opener out of uThermal, going racks into factory. Back at home, Gerald going for a gate cyber expand. Standard opener out of Gerald, something more tech heavy by uThermal. Now, as opposed to Vendetta, for example, who did play some more Mac-oriented games, it is series against Gerald. uThermal is more aggressive, he's more active, he's more in your face. In saying that, though, Abyssal Reef is a very large map, very easy to defend, so it's possible that we might be in for a long one again. Like, if we were to embrace a longer kind of half an hour plus game, Abyssal Reef would be the map to do it on. I'm sure Geralt is willing to embrace that. From the side of uThermal, I'm not so certain. Again, historically, it feels like uThermal is usually one to go for these more dedicated builds, for these more wild all-ins. That's usually how he does approach things. TvT is different. uThermal, he does embrace long late-game TvT. He has some killer late-game TvT, I will say. I do think that uThermal's best matchup is TvT. But we'll see what he brings to the table. We'll see what he does bring to the table here. So far, is going for his initial Cyclone. Zeld has arrived. Stalker as well. CC on the high ground just to be safe. And we have our take of choice. Gerald's going for the Twilight Council. Does go for the Twilight Council. Likewise, wreaking havoc in the middle. No, he gets surrounded. Ooh, big surround here on the Reaper. Reaper goes down. And likewise, the Stalker Zella busts into the main. Repairs not in time. A Cyclone has arrived, but takes a lot of hits. Oh no! The Cyclone, if it goes down. Mate, this is far too much here. Cyclone taking a lot of hits. Yep, GG gets called far too much damage far too quickly, and Gerald takes game number 1. GG. Ay, ay, ay. I'm getting flashbacks to Max Pax versus Clem, and even, oh god, what was it? Max Pax versus Björn as well earlier this week. But you can't afford those losses that early on, that quickly. That was brutal for uThermal to lose that first Cyclone. That was insane. That should not have happened. And with that, GG. GG, well played. Gerald does snowball out of control, and with that, Gerald takes a lead. Oh. Gerald, he does take a lead here. And I'm hoping we can embrace a longer game state. As we are setting up. Here we go. We are setting up for game number 2. And I'm hoping that we can clean up our early game, we can tighten things up here and get into a more back and forth, longer game state. I'm hoping that that's the case. I mean, after what just happened in game 1, I'm sure uThermal is going to be that much more attentive here in the early game as well. I am sure. Nope. So we are jumping into our next game. Here we go. And again, it is going to be on Ultra Love. It's like 3-minute games or 30. No in between. Exactly. Ay, ay, ay. Smurge. He's covered in salsa and tequila. Exactly. He's bathing in a papi. Oh my god. He has gone through the rite of passage to be initiated. To become a Latin American. Let's go. Here we go. We're getting into game 2. But yeah, for those that are curious, we had a very similar game to what we just saw earlier this week. I believe it was Max versus Beyond in the, not Wardy TV Monday, in the Pegasaur Monday. That's it. In the Pegasaur Monday, very, very similar game state where Max killed the first Cyclone, and that's game. That's game then and there. As he did overwhelm with the first 2 gateway units and the first 3 gateway units as well. As the Cyclone is a big investment and it has its role to play in the early game. But here we go, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the blue Terran player. From the land of the Netherlands, living in the land of Mexico. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is uThermal. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Streamer Zone, leading the series 1-0. It is Gerald. Beautiful. Lovely logo is set up there. We are embracing game number 2. And I wouldn't be surprised if once again we see another double gas opener out of uThermal. Double gas into a factory, into a Cyclone. But again, it's all about being as attentive as possible with those early game units, as we don't really have much to work with. We'll set up our player names though. I got you. Bam. Player names are set up. Here we go. Now, as opposed to Abyssal Reef, Ultra Love is a lot more secure on your 3 and 4 base setups here, but it is much smaller. It is a much smaller map, so we could be seeing something like a 3 racks or something more aggressive. As we can see, 1 gas. Okay, single gas opener, so it's going to be racks into CC for uThermal. We saw the CC on the high ground last time. This time it's going to be on the low ground. So low ground CC from uThermal is, of course, expanding, and Gerald confirms. He confirms the lack of second gas and the CC as well. Let's confirm what's going on. Initial Marine opener out of uThermal. Interesting. Now, because of the Marine opener, this means that uThermal, he's in the dark. No SCV scouts and no Reaper scouts. uThermal, he has no idea what's going on, and he doesn't really care, at least not until he gets into his factory production. With his factory, you can follow this up with a Hellion or with a Cyclone, most likely Hellion to get across the map to get some kind of information. We can see here uThermal is looking for a proxy, making sure there is no proxy gateway. Being secure on his side of the map, scouting the triangular third location as well. Making sure everything's safe and sound, and we should be seeing a bunker here on the high ground as well. So bunker follow-up with the Marines means we're going to be safe and secure. Ooh, that is a second Rax. A very fast second Rax here from uThermal. And this leads into, yep, a third Rax. 2 base all in. 2 base all in here from uThermal. That's a 3 Rax setup before the starport. That means a lot of Marines. That means a lot of tanks. That means we are pushing soon. Not yet, it's still early, but the production's being set up, and Gerald sees everything. Gerald, he sees all, he knows all, he sees the rush into second and third racks, sees all the production, and he knows what's coming his way. Now, as a result, Gerald knows it is unsafe to rush into a third. It is unsafe to rush into a third Nexus, so we should be seeing a second and a third gateway alongside Blink. So we should be seeing a 3-gate setup, potentially even Robo as well, before expanding. Speaking of gateways, there it is, a third gateway. Third gateway is on the way. So extra production, extra warp ins. Blink is going to be starting up soon as well. And Geralt is getting ready. Now it's all about the execution of the defense. As uThermal is gearing up. Getting into Marauder production, rushing into Stim, of course. Followed by Combat Shields. Potentially Concussive Shell as well. Here we go. As there's a starport for that medevac support. Hallucination gets eyes on the army, and it confirms the production gets eyes on the starport as well. That is a sign of further tech. There we go, Robo before expanding. This will give access to fast Immortal production. So Gerald, he can invest into an early Immortal as well. Like, oh my god! I mean, this is a way to approach this. He responds also with a proxy gateway and a proxy dark shrine. Bearing in mind, because uThermal is going to be committed here on 2 bases, he should be muling his heart out. And he is. He is muling as best he can, which means no scans, also no third TC. So this is looking a little bit rough for uThermal. It's looking rough for Mark. Because DTs are a really good way to punish aggressive and 2 base all-ins. A really good way, as scans are very limited here for uThermal. Stalkers are moving out, a Blink is finishing up, so Geralt is going to be able to slow down the push as it moves out. He can pick away at the Marines, pick away at the tanks. Geralt can slow this down. Thermal going for the eBay. He's soon to move out. He is going to be committed here. And the Dark Shrine is almost done. Meanwhile, Geralt, he's still on 2 bases, by the way. Still has not expanded. Army gets spotted. Geralt out of position. Uh-oh. He's forced to recall. The Stalker is completely out of position. But here come the Dark Templar. There we go. They do warp in. They're headed for the mineral lines. But can he defend back at home? He does have force fields. Force fields are available. Ideally, you want to try to slice up this army. DTs that make their way into the mineral lines. GG gets called as the DTs are revealed. There's nothing at home to defend. And Gerald will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. A very nice scouting out of Gerald. That is one of the advantages of the change to the energy overcharge. Without shield battery overcharge, now there's energy overcharge. And what does that mean? That means hallucination scouts. That means you can make a sentry early on, you can energy overcharge, and you have very fast or much earlier scouting, much more consistent scouting from the side of Protoss. So alas, Geralt, he saw the build, he notified it, he recognized it, he shut it down completely, playing very safe. And again, that DT follow-up is just a really secure way to just shut down all-ins like that. Completely shut it down. GG, well played. GG, well played. A very fast series, the fastest one so far. Very fast series here out of Geralt. GG, well played. I mean, it feels a little bit jarring after the TvT and the TvP before that. Very jarring considering how long of a series we had previously, but it's all good. We're just catching up. We're catching up, you know, with our schedule, and we're diving into the finals. We're diving into the grand finals here. It's going to be a best of 5 between Ryung and Geralt. Let's go.